apparently edge control is supposed to melt unless you tie it down, but not for everybody because it didn't work for me. Also, I just don't feel very good about the style.
Alright, so I'm starting off by moisturizing my hair. It was actually already blown out before I started recording, so here I'm just distributing the product with my fingers and then going in further with a comb. After I moisturize each section, I just pin it away and then move on to the next section, and then I pretty much do the same thing with oil. So I oil each strand of hair and then I oil my scalp and then pin that section away so everything stays detangled until I'm ready to braid. So once my natural hair is prepped, I'm going to be prepping the braiding hair. The hair I'm using is fused at the ends and I really don't like how it looks when I twist it all the way down. So to get rid of that, I'm using a tail comb just to separate the ends and comb them out so they look loose and more natural. And I don't have this recorded, but before I did this, I actually washed all of the braiding hair in apple cider vinegar and warm water. So if you want to prevent friction between the rubber bands and your hair, what you can do is add a small amount of oil before you apply the rubber bands, like you see me doing here. The next thing I did was to apply the edge control around each parted section of my hair. And I'm not gonna lie, I feel a bit stressed looking back at this video. I'd never used edge control to braid my hair before, but I completely understood the concept. You see me? So I honestly thought that this was gonna work and I was pretty excited about it. But anyway, I wrapped the rubber band around my section of hair and then I put the crochet hook underneath, and here I'm using 3 pieces of Man Braiding Hair, which I twisted in the middle just so it's easier to go through the crochet hook. Close the hook, pull it through, and then I pull through half the section of hair, and I basically match it up with my natural hair and then twist it down the ends. So it's pretty straightforward. I feel like the rubber band method is probably one of the easiest methods out there. Not like I have anything to compare it to because I've never braided any other way, but if you'd like to see a more in-depth tutorial on how to do the rubber band method, then I'm gonna link 2 of my videos in the description box. Right here I'm twisting or like wrapping the hair around the braid because it was poking out, and then I reapplied some edge control to keep it in place. Didn't work, but I was trying. This was about 2.5 hours into doing my hair. I'm at the very last section and I'm doing the same things that I did for every other section. The only real difference here is that I'm adding blue. So for the blue sections, it's either 2 pieces of blue hair with 1 piece of black hair, or 2 pieces of black hair with 1 piece of blue hair. But everything else was the same. And now that all the braiding hair is in, I am going to be applying hot water to my hair. So I have my kettle and a basin. I hadn't braided my hair in so long, it's like I forgot how to hot water my hair. I burned my, does anybody else see that? I burned my lip on the kettle, and I know I'm trying to play it off in the video, but that burned. Like closer to the end, it's gonna look like I have a busted lip because it burned off a piece of my mouth. Please do not be like me. Don't do what I did. Hold your head over the basin and put all of the hair in front, and then just do what you see me doing here. Do not do what I did before.
I'm not ready. Last night when I was recording, my battery died. Zine. So the only thing I didn't get to record was me drawing the braids, doing my edges and then tying my hair down, which wasn't a lot. However, I don't think this is working. Somebody probably needs to explain the concept of edge control to me, because what I think is that it's supposed to hold your hair in place like gel, but it's stronger than gel because the texture is so like tight and so thick. Obviously that's not what's happening, and I'm gonna tear this down so we can see what's going on. Last night, before I even finished braiding my entire head of hair, the edge control started to melt. basically. After all, it started feeling very oily and very slippery and kind of sticky on my hair. So there was no hold after a while, and my hair was like getting a little bit puffy because, like I said, it was melting. It felt like sticky oil. Don't pre that. It felt like oil on my hair, so it was literally just melting even before I finished doing my hair. And my hair only took about 3 hours to do, so it's not like I was there all day with it. I spoke to a friend about it, and she was saying that does happen with edge control, but you're supposed to tie it down, and then when you tie it down, it just helps it to stay in place and it doesn't melt. Which to me, I mean, sure, it kind of makes sense, but then again, I'm braiding my entire head of hair. Like, I can't do each braid and then like tie down that one section, you get me? So by the time before I was even finished with my entire head of hair, it started to melt, and then the hole just kind of magically disappeared as well. So I don't know. And then I did tie down my edges, and then obviously right now there are no edges, so I don't know. Apparently edge control is supposed to melt unless you tie it down, but not for everybody, because it didn't work for me, obviously. And I don't know. And I don't mind it. So even on the length of my hair where I applied the edge control, is just poking out like there's no product on it at all. So what I was saying is that going in, I didn't mind the idea of the hair being a bit not so neat. I don't want to use the word messy, but not so neat, especially down the length of it, because I'm using a kind of kinky textured braid anyway. But because I was doing these parts so much bigger than I had before, I knew it would get frizzy easier at the roots. So I wanted the roots to lay flat and keep smooth, and then the length of it could just be like whatever. But this is poking out. And I would understand if it was a case where you have to tie it down for it to stay. People keep saying you have to tie it down for it to stay, no, but me tie it down and I never say none. Immediately after, because I did my edges, tie it down same time. None. Anyway, if it was a case where you do your hair and tie it down for like, I don't know, half an hour or whatever, and then you take it off and it would stay for the whole day like gel, then fine. But it's not staying. Also, these people are out here putting it on them scalp and making parts, and it turned out all nice and cute and it's staying for days. I'm no longer convinced that's what's going on. Because how? It just looks like oil. Jeez, what a oil. Anyway, because the roots don't feel how I wanted them to feel, and I just know that the hair is already freezing out because it's not holding to the braids like I want it to, I just don't feel very good about the style in general. I don't know.
So this is a few hours later. I still wasn't sure what I wanted to do with this hair. I definitely didn't like it. It just was not giving me what it was supposed to give. Like, I'm not feeling it. However, I realized that if I put it at the top of my head like I'm doing here, I kind of liked how it framed my face. So this is just what I decided to go with. Also, if you realize, my edges are now done, not because I used the edge control, but because I used Eco Gel, and my edges were fine. And I know you noticed that I'm wearing makeup. We're not going to talk about how difficult it is or how my eyebrows aren't even. We're just going to talk about the fact that I'm wearing makeup. And I know you see that my lip looks busted. I said to you, the cake will burn off one side of my lip, and I don't know if you believed me because I play it off, but my lip looks busted. Anyway, we continue. So the hair is at the top of my head. I'm putting in these little fuzzy, bubble, scrunchy, ball looking things, and I'm really just trying to get into the spirit, into the vibe of whatever this hair is supposed to be giving me. You see me? So to kind of complete look, I took this head wrap. I'll also have it linked in the description, and I just turned it into a shirt like you know I do. So this is the final look. I think it's pretty cute overall, but I think I was just so caught up with how this edge control was not doing what it was supposed to do that I just couldn't fully enjoy this hairstyle. But I still managed to get some pictures that turned out pretty cute, I would say, in the end. So I'm going to be sharing them with you guys. But just thank you so much for sticking around to the end of the video. I hope that you enjoyed it, that maybe it was entertaining, and you will see me in the next one.